Welcome back, everybody. Robert with Occupancy Boost. In today's video, I'm going to cover Google Alerts. Google Alerts are a free tool offered by Google that help property owners understand their property a lot better. It sends alerts to your inbox automatically revolved around new construction, things that are happening in the city, and events that are coming up, so you can always stay informed about what's going on with your property to allow you to make better pricing decisions. Stay tuned. I'm going to switch screens and I'm going to show you everything about Google Alerts. Okay, first things first, I want to start off by showing you guys exactly what Google Alerts are. This is a free service that sends email notifications, and I'm going to show you guys how to set all this up. Email notifications when new content matching your search terms appears on the web. It's used to monitor online mentions of your keywords, helping you stay informed about relevant news. So basically what this is, just like they said, it's a free service, and you can kind of tailor this to fit how you want this to work for your property. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to set one of these up and what I use this, how I use this. You can really use this any way you want. I'll kind of mention that as I go along. So the website you want to go to, and I have a link in the description for this, is google.com/alerts. Very simple. And as you can see here in the top right corner, I am logged into my account. Now, what I typically use this, what I use this for is to find out what's going on in the town, the neighborhood, or the city where my properties reside. And I like to use that information, first of all, to prospect. If there's any new companies coming in, if there's any new construction coming in, when it hits the news, I want to find out about it so I can use that as a prospecting tool. I also use this to keep informed about what's going on in the city or a town, because the properties that I work with, I don't live in the city where every property is that I work with. So I need to kind of learn what's going on in that city. And since I don't live there, this is a good way for me to find out what's going on. So there's a couple different, that's how I use it. You guys need to use it for what works for you best. If you're working at the property level, then obviously you can get down to the neighborhood that you're working at to find out what's going on. And again, you want to use this. I use it as a prospecting tool, and I'm assuming most hotel operators, owners, salespeople that are watching this, they're going to use it for the same thing. So I'm just going to show you quickly how I do this and how I set it up. I'm going to create an alert about construction. So I'm going to put in here new construction happening, and I'm just going to use an example city here. I'm just going to use Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, so any new construction happen, this is a pretty broad term. Obviously, if you have a specific neighborhood, like I know there's an area of Atlanta called Buckhead. If your hotel's in, I'm just using an example, Buckhead, or if you have a hotel in Little Rock, Arkansas, North Little Rock, Arkansas is kind of an area that they use as an identifier for Little Rock. It kind of separates the city out. Then you'd want to put North Little Rock, Arkansas to kind of narrow those search terms down. And then all you do here in the bottom, after you type in the word that you want, the keywords that you want to Google to pull from the web, you're going to click on this show options. Okay, and first of all, you can set this up for how often you want this to come. I do it once a week, so I put at most once a week in here. You can do it as you can see from the drop down here, as it happens, once a day or once a week. It depends on what works best for you. And the sources I'm going to use here, I just leave it on automatic. I want basically any source. If you want it to come, if you only want to get these emails for when it comes from news or blogs or from the web, you can certainly set it up that way. I think automatic's the best way. That way you're not going to miss out on anything. You can pick whatever language you want this to come in. And then any region, obviously Atlanta, Georgia is in the United States, so I'm going to pick United States there. And then how many, it says, as far as results go, you can do all results or only best results. Now, since I have so many properties that I work with, I need to narrow down my searches. So I use this only the best results. If you have one property that you're working at with a property level, obviously I would probably get all results and see what you get there. Then you can always come back in here and you can modify these as well. And then you can pick the email address that you want this to get delivered to. I'm going to get this sent to my email address for my company, which is info@occupancyboost.com. So what's going to happen here with any new construction happening in Atlanta, Georgia, that hits the news or anywhere online, once a week, I'm going to get an automatic email in English with only the best results for the new construction coming to my inbox, info@occupancyboost.com. And if you're happy with how this is set up, you just hit create alert. Now, other things that I'm going to show you how this works in a second, what these look like. But other things you can set this up for. If you want to learn about the city like me, you don't live in the city, you can put happening in Atlanta, Georgia. You could set that up as another alert. Another way that I use this is company expansion. So company expansion, Atlanta, Georgia. I'm not going to type it all up, but you guys kind of get what I'm talking about, and set up an alert for that. So I usually set up for my properties 2 to 3 alerts, and these all get delivered pretty much on the same day. And then I go through and read these and try to cherry pick out anything that I think is going to bring business into my hotel and prospect from it. But it also teaches me what's going on in the neighborhood or the city that my hotel's in. So obviously it's going to make you better. You're going to make better pricing decisions, or you're going to make better decisions when you're online, working with these properties, if you know more about what's going on in the city, obviously, because I don't live there. Now, the way these come through on your email, let me show you a little bit about what these look like. Let's just take, Baytown, Texas. I've got some hotels in Baytown, Texas, and the alert is construction happening. So I set, as you can see here, this one that I have, it's a Google alert that came through. It says Google alert, construction happening in Baytown, Texas. That's how I set up my Google alert in here. The Google alert that I set up was construction happening in Baytown, Texas. And let's click on that and see what that looks like. Now, this alert came through. This was obviously a couple days ago, but it tells you not really much going on. It just has news. That was pretty much it for that. There's not much there. Let's try to find one with a little bit more in-depth information. I do have some hotels up in South Carolina or North Carolina, so we can hit this alert that came through. It says construction, Hickory, North Carolina. And it just tells about a board meeting. It tells construction camp, becoming pipeline, not much there. Company expansion, Baytown, Texas, not much there. Let me try to find one that kind of gives us a little bit more information. You kind of see what these look like. Okay, let me go to a couple that kind of, help me with my prospecting and help me understand the area a little bit. This one here, it says company expansion, Channelview, Texas. Channelview's a suburb of Houston. So I've got a property there, and obviously the keyword or the Google alert that I set up was company expansion, Channelview, Texas. So this came through. This was a while back. I set this alert up. It came through a couple days ago, and it talks about this company that's actually getting ready to expand in this area. So if you go through the article, it just gives you a whole article on it. And it's really good. It tells about this company. Basically, it's going to come in here and they're going to add on to this existing plant. There's a lot of refineries and chemical plants in Baytown, Texas. So it's important to know what's going on in these plants. Obviously, it's going to bring future business in for the property. And there's always contact information you can use here. And, if you're going to do any prospecting, anything in the article, that's what you're kind of looking for in the article, is kind of pick out any type of prospecting. But it's important to know what's going on in these areas too, just not when you're setting rates and everything for your properties. It's really important to know what's going to be going on in the area. So this is good news. This is company expansion that's taken place, a huge expansion project that's taken place in this area. Obviously, it's going to bring in more business for the whole area from a revenue standpoint for the city. And another alert that I have here is in North Carolina. I've got a property, and I've got a couple properties that reside right off of I-85. And this alert that I set up here in my Google Alerts, it sent me an information on this widening. They're actually going to widen the highway, which is good news because the properties that I work with are sitting right off of I-85. And obviously with this one, you have to subscribe in order to get, some of these will come through, and it's good that you saw this in here. You have to subscribe with a payment in order to read about this article. But I could always Google this and I'll probably do that afterwards, Google the information from this and find out. I'm sure there's another article that I have to pay for, but you can see right down here in the bottom, it says the North Carolina Department of Transportation awarded a $337 million contract to the Lane Construction Corporation for its long discussed, and it's talking about the widening of I-85. So this is the construction company that's actually going to be doing that. So this is perfect. I can actually reach out to this construction company to see if they have any work crews that are going to be coming through the area that might need hotel rooms to stay when they start widening that. And like I said, I can find out a little bit more about that by just taking this information here and Googling it and seeing if I can find out exactly when this is going to be taking place. So that's kind of how these work. You get these Google alerts. Obviously, like I said, I set these up once a week, but you're doing them for two reasons. One is for prospecting to see if you can find business for your property. And the other reason is to learn a little bit more about what's going on and future developments in your communities that you're working with these properties. It's going to help you be able to understand the area a lot more, which is in turn going to help you be able to make a lot better pricing decisions. That's all I have for today, guys. If you like this video, please click on the subscribe button and share it with your friends and colleagues. I will have more videos coming out in the future. I've been kind of lax on the videos lately. I've been really busy, but I'm trying my best to get these out as often as I can. Thanks a lot. We'll see you in the next video.